So what inspired you to take this to the next level and write your memoirs?
Well, that's a great question. I really was not, I'm a writer by trade, but certainly not a book writer, I'm a playwright. And I was just wanted to journal. My partner actually said, you know, you're getting older, you're starting to get in your 40s, your memory might go a little bit, so why don't you just sit down and kind of journal all the stories that I would tell people like I'm telling you tonight. And so I started doing that. I'd get up at 5 in the morning and sit at my computer, which sat on top of a backgammon table, actually. It's really interesting, because I think you're the only one I've actually told that to, that actually the first go-around for the book was actually a laptop, well, not even a laptop, I think it was just a big old fat computer that sat on top of an old backgammon table. Started writing it, and Tom would read, you know, my partner would read 50 pages, and he'd say, wow, it's an interesting book here. And I'd say, who would want to read a book from an unknown writer? And he said, yeah, but you're writing about the most famous person on the planet. So 100 pages, 150 pages, 200 pages, it kind of turned into a book. Sent it to a friend of mine who was an agent, and he sold it to St. Martin's Press like in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So that became the book, a bestseller. And then 5 years later, the same way someone called me, a producer, and said, you know what, I just read your book, it's terrific, I think it would make a great play. And I turned and I went, oh really? And I thought it through, and I've been working on it ever since as a play. Well, this is what I call really, I feel it's my world premiere too as a writer, because it's not only a new piece, but it's a piece about me. So I'm kind of wearing two hats here.
Well, I heard that was the most difficult challenge for you, writing about yourself. It's easy to write about Lucy and make that a singular story, but I heard it was complicated for you to put yourself on paper.
Yeah, it was complicated, and more complicated in the audition process, to see people come in and be me. Intimidating for the actors, no question about it, but for me it was kind of like, oh wow, you know, or they would say a line different from how I heard it when I wrote it. And then, of course, in rehearsal, it was really tough sitting there when the director and the actor are talking about not necessarily great things about me, but maybe things that are embarrassing to me, and I'm kind of sitting there. So I spent a lot of time actually out of the rehearsal room. A great director, and you know, so it's a real conundrum. It's a new play. I need to be there to hear that the text is the right way, but it was very difficult. I felt I wanted to give the actors space to who was playing me, who was absolutely terrific.
Jeffrey Denman.
Jeffrey Denman as Lee, and Diane J. Finley as Lucy, and they are just extraordinary.
Thank you for joining us for Nastasia Surdike. See you next time.